Hey everybody, so today I am going to be reviewing my 2018 Pinarello Dogma F10. It is a race bike. The bike is meant to be an all-arounder. Good in the mountains and climbing and punchy rollers. It's also meant to be their Aero bike. Well, if you see my other review on the Calnago, you know that I tend to favor bikes that are all-arounders, meaning a bike that I can use anywhere for anything. Because races are flat, punchy, and climby. Just depends on the race profile. So I wanted a bike that just kind of ticks all those boxes for me, and I can use wherever, whenever. So the bike, the frame weight of the bike is I think 130 grams, not including the fork. I'm not sure if that includes the seat post. I don't remember. So the way I have this built and spec'd out is it comes in right about 15 pounds. I think I said this in my other review, and it's like if you're looking for a bike, you have to think about what type of rider you are, how you plan to use the bike. Find a bike that suits you and fits you, your style of riding, or if you're racing, you want a race bike. So the other thing to think about is how flexible you are. Well, if you get a really aggressive race bike, you're not really probably going to be very comfortable on it. Now, it's not to say that the Dogma isn't comfortable, because for a race bike, it's pretty comfortable. You do feel the road noise. The bike is decently compliant, but it's also very lively, extremely responsive. It's explosive. You get out of the saddle and boom, it just reacts and moves. It descends and corners really well. My problem with it is that it has these little aero flaps because it's meant to be aero. And so sometimes going through corners, I'm not sure if it catches the wind, but it feels like the front end sometimes can be a tad fidgety. And like I said, I'm not sure if that's because of those front aero flaps that they have on. So as far as aero, I mean, it feels fast in the flats. Have the Zipp Aerobars. Now, I could always build this up with lighter components, but again, I wanted more of an all-arounder that climbed really well. I had the Enve 3.5s. Superlight wheels. My thing with the Enves, and I'll do a review on it, is they're light and they're not as stiff as say a Zipp. So they're flexy. So when you get out of the saddle, they do rub the back brake. But the Enves are great wheels, responsive. I like them. They're tubeless. Go tubeless. Because I wanted this to be more of a climbing bike, I wanted an 1132. And I think I've talked about this before, but in Dura Ace Di2, it only goes up to 1130. How do the pros get like these big gear ranges? Well, you have to get a longer cage. You can't do the short cage, you gotta do the medium. Is I went with Ultegra Di2, was able to put an 1132 cassette on it. To save some of that weight, I went with Dura Ace chain rings and Dura Ace brakes, and that helped save a little bit of weight. The nice thing about the 1132 is that I can stay in the big chainring longer than I can with like an 1128. So if you're looking to build a super light climbing bike, the F10 wouldn't be my choice. I would go with like the Yamanda SLR, Specialized Tarmac, Cannondale, I forget the name of their climbing bike, and a couple others that you can build under 14 pounds. The Dogma, you're gonna be hard pressed to get in that 13, under 14 pound range. If you're looking to build this super slippery Aero bike, the Dogma wouldn't be my choice either. I would look at like the Specialized Venge, the Trek Madone, Giant has one. I mean, there's some really, Cannondale System 6, there's some really amazing Aero bikes, and that's what they do. But if you want a bike that just kind of does everything really well, to me, this is why I got the F10. On the bottom bracket, I am running Kogel bearings, ceramic Kogel bearings. And then for the pulley wheels, I'm running Kogel bearings as well. And I'll put a link in the description below. The pulley wheels, they spin really freely, and you don't get that with the regular Dura Ace or Ultegra pulley wheels. Even just the crank itself spins really smoothly, and there's a noticeable difference. So I always put ceramics in my stuff. So anyways, some things to consider, and hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Like and subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. and I'll see you guys later. Bye.